No, but it's just finance bits, so that's fine.
Okay. In that case,
I am just going to put myself on mute though, unless I'm speaking, because obviously my printer will be annoying otherwise.
Okay. Okay. Welcome everybody to the cemetery committee meeting. As you know, we're doing it on Zoom. What I would ask is that when people aren't speaking, they mute the microphones and they raise their hands so that we can give them permission to speak. The only reason for that is otherwise it's too confusing over Zoom. Is everyone happy with that? Right. First of all, we have apologies for absence. No apologies at this point. Do we have any declarations of interest?
Just from the second.
We will.
Yeah.
Right.
Part 2.
For part 2, Stephen.
Okay, and that is item 52, review and approve staff salaries.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Item 3, this is going to be arrangements for Remembrance Sunday Service 2020 in the context of current COVID-19 pandemic. This is going to cause us a few issues this year because you're not allowed any mass gatherings. Hazel?
Yes. Well, I've spent quite a bit of time. Can you switch that off? What's that?
I'll switch.
Back from something.
I've spent quite a bit of time this afternoon, as well as the other day, talking to Royal British.
Sorry, Tony and Hazel, are you sitting really close together? Are you sitting near each other?
Probably too close.
I wonder if that's why it's echoing.
Right. That's better. Is that better? I can't hear you.
Unmute yourself.
Sorry, yes it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. Well, I spent quite a bit of time this afternoon to British Legion and NCC, and as I did about a fortnight ago, and they still haven't got any guidelines. But my suggestion to them, and I will put it to the committee now, is because of COVID and people standing too close together, I thought it might be an idea that over the Friday, the Saturday, and maybe the Sunday morning before 11 o'clock, the people who lay the wreaths could lay them. And then at 11 o'clock, if people would stand outside their house, and I believe the vicar, is he there?
Yes, James is there.
Right. He said he would have the bells rung. At 11 o'clock, the bell will ring, and then again after the 2-minute silence. Now, I put this to the British Legion and Northumberland County Council, and I thought it was a good idea. Also, I think NCC were going to adopt something similar. ANIC haven't had their meeting yet, but they said, could they adopt the idea? I said, well, if you want, but we haven't decided on anything yet. The only other thing is we could leave it in abeyance for 2 or 3 weeks and see what happens with COVID. But also, we have an added thing, as it were, the War Memorial. It's 100 years on the 17th of October since it was erected. And we thought it would be a nice idea if, on the Sunday, the 17th of October, if James was agreeable, because there are now 40 names on it, if the bells could be tolled 40 times. Also, I think James did suggest, correct me if I'm wrong, James, that after the 2-minute silence, he would maybe be able to arrange for the bells to be rung 40 times, because we wouldn't all be at the War Memorial and we wouldn't be able to read people's names out so everybody could hear, but it would be a nice gesture. Has anybody got any other ideas about this?
Oh, Hazel, I know we've spoken about it, and I thought it was a really clever way of marking it. And again, especially tying it in with the 100th anniversary of the War Memorial is lovely, and to peal the bell 40 times at the end of the silence. It's a great remembrance thing to do. Sorry, Ewan. So you need to unmute you and hang on.
There you are. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yep. Sorry, I think it's a great idea. I think it definitely needs to be marked. The fact that it's 100 years and the 40 names. You know, I think it's a great. I think it's a great idea.
Okay. Thank you. So is everyone in favour of that idea? All those in favour, please raise your hands. Yep. Thank you. I mean, it may be that when we get closer, that it would be possible to, just a second, Hazel. Okay. It may be possible to actually change what we're doing, but I think if we get the idea set now and we start and let people know, because one of the biggest issues we're going to have is stopping people going to the War Memorial on the Sunday morning and crowd control. Hazel?
A gentleman rang me back from the British Legion, and he did say, obviously we can't stop people going.
No.
But we can limit them, you know, we can ask them not to for social distancing. And I think if we put the notices out in time, but also we should maybe wait a week or two and see how this COVID's going to go. You know?
Can sorry, I was going to say, just on that same point, Hazel, about obviously we can't stop people, but I think maybe, you know, on the Friday, say, it would be worth putting just laminated those like ones with the arrow and the two people, and just putting them along the fence, maybe to just remind people that if they are there,
But they have
visual reminder to sort of if you are in, you know, actually physically going, just to kind of space yourselves out a bit, and it might catch people that haven't seen our notices or anything like that.
Also, Mr. Chairman, if I could just come in again and say, would the parish councillors from Swollen Newton-on-the-Moor, Felton and Thurston, would the chairman and the vice chairman of each parish council, would they like to be in attendance to lay there'll be 3 wreaths, would they like to lay theirs?
The Sunday morning, just
at 11 o'clock, and be down at the War Memorial for 11 o'clock, just so there's a presence, but I have no doubt some people will go.
I must admit, my intention would be with social distancing as well. I would be there on the day to mark it.
On the 11th.
If using the chairman and the vice chairman, if they're agreeable to do that, is a good way of doing it, because also if they're down there, they could remind anyone who does come to social distance.
And just sort of supervise the queue, if there is a queue, supervise the queue a bit.
Ewan?
I think the sooner the better. And my opinion is, if the British Legion have been told not to parade, then I think why are we thinking about, although you're just saying, the chairman of the parish councils, why not just leave it as nobody there officially, but just leaving it with the bells ringing, and particularly if you're going to ring the bells 40 times, which I think is a great idea. Just leave it at that, but announce it as soon as possible so people are aware.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, all those in favour of getting the announcements put together quickly and then sent out? Yeah.
So can I just check? We're just going to say there isn't going to be any. We're not staffing it at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
People are wreath layers are encouraged to attend on the Saturday when it would be safe. To obviously, with social distancing in mind, stagger it over the Saturday and the Sunday morning, so the wreaths are there in time. But that's for each individual to arrange. We're saying we're going to have the bells ringing for the silence. We're encouraging people to stand in their gardens or out on the street for that. Okay, and then I think you're right, because I think if we start saying we might change things, and we just don't know, because you could change it in 2 weeks' time and then have to change it back again. And we don't want to be scrambling around. If the government does one of its usual, says it on Thursday, implements it Friday midnight, we don't want to be scrabbling around. We don't want to be scrabbling around trying to change things, get the news back out again. So I think we just decide now, and that's.
Yeah. So everyone's happy with that. Does that mean that we should cancel the road closures?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Hazel, sorry.
Sorry. Wreaths on the Friday as well. They can lay them on the Friday, the Saturday, or the Sunday morning.
Yes.
If you can include the Friday in that, Claire.
Yeah. What I'll do, Hazel, I'll do the poster either tomorrow or Saturday, and I'll run it past you first so you can glance over it and
okay.
take a pair of eyes that way.
Yeah.
James, sorry.
Can you clarify what you want from me? So very quickly on bells. So you want the bell rung at 11 o'clock on the dot. You want the bell rung at 11:02. And then
40 times,
and then we'll ring it 40 times after that. In terms of the 11 sort of whatever the time we spend at the War Memorial, do you want any kind of words, prayers, of any? Do we need? I presume we need a reduced version of what we normally do. I presume that's what we're looking at. Is that correct?
Well, actually, I don't know how we could fit that in, because you wouldn't get loudspeaker that go right around the village, would you?
No. You're doing it for anyone that's gathered there.
Yes.
And but you're also doing it in order that we have an act of remembrance.
But why don't we do that? Could you do that online, James, like you've been doing your services? So you could do it beforehand, so that people then you almost say, right, conclude your prayers, and then the 11 o'clock silence happens. That gives people time to go and stand outside for it. Or you could,
just possibly. Just try me again, though.
Sorry, just to not like a streamed service like you have been doing for your church services. I'm just thinking that way people can, if they wish to engage in the sort of the more religious element of the remembrance, they can do that. It's still available to them. And then if they just want to take part, because some people just come down and do the silence, if they just want to do that, they can stand outside. And if they want to do both, they're not sort of torn about where they need to be for that.
Okay.
Just
also discourages people from going down to the War Memorial itself.
So we would we would stream a service on Remembrance Sunday, which is, we can do that now, and people could tune in especially for the 11 o'clock moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could say, the bell will now ring silence, and then it gives people the time to go outside or just stay inside, whatever they prefer.
And James, if you could give the details of that to Claire, where the link is so that it could be
Yeah.
included on all of the posters, so people know?
Yeah, I think that's possible. We only live streamed last week for the first time.
We like to give you a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, what do you normally do? Because you have been doing them online. Have you just been pre-recording them?
We've been pre-recording them, but
I mean, you could do it that. You could do it
no.
way.
We want to live stream, and that's
Okay.
and that would make it much more participatory. Do you know what I mean? So, no, that works. I think it's as easy as scheduling a live stream. It just happens to be we're scheduling it for 5 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much, James.
Good.
Is there anything else we need? Sorry, Hazel?
Claire, if we're going to put out some publicity,
Yep. I'll check with you first, shall I? Do you want to?
well, I'm just conscious that we've no idea how many people might want to come to church that day, but I was thinking we would probably, because we normally have more people than usual, we won't fit everyone in on social distancing, so we would probably have to have 2 services.
Now, and we need to get them out to people ASAP.
Do you want me to take that one up, Claire, or do you want to do it, or Hazel?
Well, I can speak to Neil Skelton.
Okay. If you have any problems, give me a shout and I'll give you a hand with that.
Greg's wanting to go.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Stephen. Greg.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. If you unmute. Greg, if you want to unmute. No.
keep it on mute. I'll keep it on mute.
Is he frozen? He's just frozen, is it?
Frozen, yeah, completely.
I think, yeah,
I'm going back.
Subtitles on. Subtitles on.
Sorry?
Subtitles on.
No idea where that's coming from.
who's frozen?
Greg.
Just can't. I try throwing them out and then hope he'll come back in. Oh no, hang on. Greg, I can. No, it's gone. Gone for the moment. Hopefully he'll come back in again. Anyway, Greg comes back. Has that covered that part for just now? Yep.
Yes, yes.
Thank you everyone for that. Item 4 on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 10th of June 2020.
Do you mind if I excuse myself, Stephen?
No, James, thank you very much for coming in and thank you for all the things that you'll be doing.
No problem at all. Cheers now.
Take care. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
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 Greg's trying to get back in now. Hi, Greg, you're back again. Again, isn't he? No.
Stephen, I think he needs to unmute.
Well, yes, he does, but Greg, can you unmute? Can you hit the unmute button, please? I can't unmute you from here, can I?
Can you hear me now? Can't you hear me now?
Yes, I can just hear you now, Greg. Yeah.
When you whatever you did there, it gave us an unmute button. I can't find an unmute button on my phone.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Oh, thanks for that.
Right. So we're just saying that everything seems fine. Are you happy with all the arrangements on that?
I think so. So we're saying that the PC chairman and vice hopefully would lay the wreaths, but on whatever day leading up to the
Yes.
Sunday, not necessarily on the Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not attend on the Sunday at 11.
Yeah, we
Right.
wouldn't
Okay.
attend.
Yeah, I think that's sensible, really, in the current climate.
It is. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Right, we're just moving on to approve the minutes
Can I
from.
say something before you move on, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
do
Hazel.
you wish me to ring everybody up that I normally have in line to do things? Would you like me to ring them up and say cancel?
Yes, actually, that would be an exceptionally good
I
idea.
think so, but I need your
Thank you.
approval.
Yes,
Okay.
we don't want everyone else turning up.
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, right. The minutes of the meeting held on the 10th of June. Everyone's had a copy of those minutes. Is everyone happy with them, or does anyone have any comments to make?
No.
No. In that case, suppose we approve them. All those in favour?
Just a minute, Stephen. Stephen,
Yes.
the Davison's obelisk insurance will have to be split 50-50 between souls.
That comes in matters arising.
Oh, right, fair enough, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. We're happy with the minutes. Yeah. All those in favour? Thank you. Minutes approved. Right. Matters arising from the minutes. Only you need to unmute if you were speaking there.
Me.
So are there any Hazel?
Yes, I've tried to get hold of Cook's relations, but about the tub in the middle of the grave. You know, the rose that has died,
Yes.
and apparently they have moved on. So I've got to try and find out where they've moved to.
Okay, thank you for that
I
one.
think I can maybe find that out.
Right. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other matters arising from the minutes?
It was just to make sure the insurance on David Zoblis is split 50-50. There's benefit.
Can you ensure that you did? Yes. Thank you for that one. Any other matters arising?
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Item 6, health and safety requirements relating to cemetery workers. Any updates on the health and safety side?
No, but I haven't really expected to get anything further in terms of a training course, because I can't imagine. I sort of assume that that'll all be on hold. I will follow it up again and just keep in touch with him to just check. But he hasn't been back in touch, and I don't know whether they'll be running the course at the present time.
Thank you. Works? Anything on works, Hazel?
No.
No. The waste bin?
We were going to look at it on site, and obviously we haven't, in the current circumstances, been easily able to do that.
We defer till the next meeting. Does that make sense? And hope that we can get to look at it in the meantime.
I suppose not all of us have to go. I mean, a couple could go.
And have a look. But if we can, or if anyone is passing the cemetery, if they can go and have a look, and we defer then the discussion till the next meeting, and hopefully people have had a chance to have a check. Everyone be agreeable to that.
yep.
Yep.
We seem to have lost Tony now as well. Item 9, cemetery clerk's report. Hazel, running of the cemetery.
Everything is running okay at the moment. Business isn't quite as brisk as it normally is, but never mind, can't help that. So really, everything's all right at the moment.
Good. There's nothing that needs doing there as such. And then we come to income.
Yes. Well, do you want me to give you a copy, Claire, of what I'm reading out?
Yes, you could. Yeah.
Right. There was a plot and burial which was out of the area, which was 490. There was a headstone 160. There was burial of ashes 160. There was a headstone 160. A wall plaque at 85, and burials of ashes 160. So it was £1,215. That is since June, our last meeting.
Thank you.
All right, and I'll
just put that in my door. Yeah, that'd be great.
Right. Okay, I don't think there's anything else from me actually at the moment.
Good. In that case, we move on to finance balances. Claire, if you want to go through the finance side, please.
Certainly. So I've done a statement up till the 27th, which is when the papers came out. I think that the last amount of money that Hazel mentioned there, the last 160, I think that went in just after I'd done this statement, so isn't showing on this statement.
Or probably, yes.
I think it went in on the 29th, didn't it? So, yeah, sort of time, and Greg went back to Newton-on-the-Moor and Swarland. So the cemetery terms of reference, when we drafted those, we only we set out in those that it was only the Swarland elector numbers that would go forward and be used to calculate the proportions. However, previously it had always been the for Thurston. I'm just going to check with Jan to see what her latest. She has sent me figures, but it wasn't the most recent electoral register, so it might be worth checking again. And it is going to rejig the percentages slightly. Felton's obviously now got all of the Bellway houses have come in,
Yes.
so our numbers have increased. I think it'll take us into slightly being the largest percentage, but not basically us and Newton-on-the-Moor are swapping places because they were previously slightly above us, and Thurston's still quite a bit lower than the two other councils. So just to let you know, really, that was just to let you know that the numbers are changing slightly. I've put them on the draft budget and what the new contribution percentages will be.
Right. So when we come to the budget, fairly short. Next item is to review and approve the cemetery charges for the year 2021-2022.
It was quite hard this year, actually, because normally we get quite a good, there's quite a considerable increase based on the, what's it called? The RPI
Yes.
index this year. So just for comparison, last year's was something like 3.83%, and this year it's not even 1% increase. So the numbers, based on that, the percentage change is the actual monetary change is very low. So really I felt only the top two justified going up, and the rest really maybe kept the same. But it's obviously, I don't know what you think, whether we should put them all up a minimum £5, but I just thought maybe given the economy and the fact that everything is interest rates are probably going to be static for a while,
each of them go by the £5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what did we do last? We didn't put them up some of them up last time, did we?
Yeah.
They always go up £5.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the proposal that we have at the moment is that they are all increased by £5. Who's in agreement with that?
Agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's agreed. That's what we do. Thank you very much.
Everything's going to go up by flat rate of £5 across the board. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong piece of paper. 10E, to review and approve the budget for the year ending 31st of March.
So, as we've done last year, and I think even the year before as well, I've based the budget simply on the median figures, if you look at the balance. If you remember, this was on the advice of the internal auditor to use a median average because it takes out the any unexpected lows or unexpected highs, and it's a more accurate average.
Between the two, and I know in the financial position you've got the split there.
Yeah.
Just a minor thing. The end number would be the same. It's just to split it out.
So based on that, that gives us a balance before PC contributions of minus 3,180. So I was suggesting PC contributions totaling 3,200. That is a slight decrease. Last year we had 3,650 came in. So again, if you want to keep it slightly higher, but it would mean that we were running on an anticipated surplus that way. So it's
What is the general view on that?
What level are the contributions?
3,000.
Yes, Stephen.
Sorry.
22.04. I will check those exact numbers. Newton-on-the-Moor and Swarland, sorry, that should say Newton-on-the-Moor and Swarland would be 36.94 and Thurston's percentage is 22.02. So they've changed slightly from last year.
And Stephen, Ewan's got his hand up.
Sorry, Tony?
Stephen, Ewan's got his hand up.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't see it.
Well, I haven't.
Just scratching your head.
Scratching my head.
Yeah, because it was, yes.
No, but is it there?
Oh, right.
Right. So now that we've got over Ewan scratching his head,
I don't wonder.
to accept the budget as proposed.
Yes.
Yeah. In favour? Yeah. Thank you very much. Set the council levies for the year.
So that would be as the budget, subject to me just having a final check of the new electoral percentage figures, if that's okay. But it'll be about that.
To that as it is in the budget. All those in favour, just to confirm, please. Thank you. Right. Item 11, terms of reference.
So as I mentioned, we just need to amend the terms of reference now that we are we've clarified that the whole of Newton-on-the-Moor contributing, because it previously said the former ecclesiastical parish of Swarland, so that will need to be amended to just say that each of the 3 parish councils numbers. We will also need to make an amendment at some point on the way in which the finances are
Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Item 12. Any urgent business?
Nope.
Urgent business?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Item 13. The date of the next meeting is Thursday, the 19th of November, 7 o'clock. Again. We now come to...
Stephen, can I come in?
Sorry, Hazel, apologies.
Can I come in? It's all right. If we have a problem with what we've just discussed about Remembrance Day, would it be all right to call a quick meeting?
Yes, we'll call an extraordinary meeting to move anything forward.
Do you want to bring the November one forward a couple of... I mean, normally we have it then because we debrief the Remembrance.
Right.
But we could bring it forward and then we could... just have an extra one if we need to.
Well, no, I think we should have that after. That's a debrief meeting, and I think we should just stick to the debrief meeting. It was just if we need to.
Yeah.
If we need to.
Yes,
we may not.
we can easily have one. Yeah. Everyone happy with that?
Yep.
But failing that, the next meeting is Thursday, the 19th of November. We now move to part 2 of the agenda. And the first part is a resolution to exclude public and press. Felton Cemetery Joint Committee are invited to pass a resolution under section 1.2 of the Public Bodies Admissions to Meetings Act 1960 to exclude public and press due to the confidential nature of the business to be discussed, which relates to staff salaries. Can I have all those in favour of passing that resolution, please? Thank you. Now,
Bye-bye.
yes, because
Thank you.
we've also withdrawn from this part because we're...
No, can't go. I've got to discuss something.
You can't discuss it. That's in closed session now.
We're in closed session.
Well, fair enough. Well, I'm leaving.